If the US is the superpower in the current ruling empire, how come the pound currency is the strongest in the world and not the USD? And could you tell a bit more about the finance geopolitical situation, the collapsing dollar hegemony, please? Okay, let's take the first part of the question. If the US is the superpower and the current ruling empire, how come the pound is the strongest in the currency in the world, not the USD? The strength of a currency is not determined by exchange rates. It's not determined by exchange rates. There are certain currencies that have an even stronger exchange rate than the pound compared to the US dollar. It means nothing. The strength of a currency is determined by how widely that currency is in use and whether that currency is the global reserve currency or not. The only currency that can be called the global reserve currency today is the US dollar. And this happened in 1944-45 when as a consequence of the Bretton Woods Agreement, the Bretton Woods Conference, and the agreement that came out of it, which officially made the US dollar the reserve currency, the global reserve currency. It was at the time linked to the price of gold, which was then removed by President Nixon, and the US dollar then became linked with the price of petroleum. It's now called the petrodollar, right? So all oil transactions for the longest time were only done in US dollars, and it's a globally accepted currency. You go to any nation in the world, you give them US dollars, they will take it. Yeah. The UK pound may not be that well accepted the way the US dollar is. So that is why the US dollar is the global reserve currency, and that the exchange rate means nothing actually. You can have a nation which has a currency that is equal to 10 US dollars. It doesn't mean that nation is a superpower or that currency is stronger. The strength of a currency is determined by the acceptance worldwide. And it is precisely because the US dollar is the global reserve currency. It is because of this fact that the US is able to impose sanctions on any nation at will, which cuts that nation off from the global trade infrastructure. And it imposes enormous hardships on that nation, because essentially sanctions means no other nation is allowed to trade or deal with that nation in US dollars and in no other currency. So, and the global system, the SWIFT, etc., is all denominated essentially based on the US dollar and so on. So that is what the fact is. The exchange rate means nothing at all.